fine. So we are going to study the wavelength of laser by using your diffraction grating. So here this is similar to your Young's double slit experiment. What happens in Young's double slit experiment? You take a monochromatic source and you send it to the so when it is traveling, when it encounters this kind of small edges, then what happens, this each of them will act like a new source, okay, your monochromatic source. And then at the end you have something called as, if you see here, you will have bright fringe, and then dark fringe, then again a bright fringe, and again a dark fringe, and again a bright fringe, okay. So then the same thing is repeated on the other case, okay. So if you take the intensity of this mid one, so this is very bright. This again because this is mainly because you have more number of constitutive difference. So when to get this bright fringe, okay, then you have a dark one. This is your destructive difference, okay, and then you have again bright one, which is your slightly less bright, okay. So then you have the other one, which is even less, very less, lesser bright, okay. So this is what you get in case of your when you do your Young's double slit experiment, okay. The same thing we are going to see here, okay. So we are going to see that experimentally. So now what happens is we call this is your slits, okay. So you have your slits, and then what happens, this is your screen, okay. And have we'll use what we call as a Bragg's law, okay. N lambda is 2d sin theta, okay. But here we are going to use just d sin theta, okay. So we are not going to use 2d, we are going to use d sin theta, and lambda would be equal to d sin theta by 2, sorry, by n, okay. What is n? N refers to the order of, so n is your order of diffraction, order of diffraction, okay. So you are not going to consider the zeroth order. So this is your zeroth order, which is your very bright spot, which is in the middle. If you take the first one, this is the first order, okay, n equals 1, and then the second one is n equals 2, okay. So this is what we call as the order. Order means it depends on the number of your constituent and destructive differences, okay. So this is your first order and second order, and then there is also n equals 0 order. So now what is theta? Theta is the angle made by your uh, 0 in the first order or 0 in the second order. 0 is like a, it is going to act like a reference point, okay. So we are not going to use that, we are going to use that we'll use that as a reference point, okay. So this is if I know this theta, so theta would be something like this. So the angle between these two will be theta 1. So then n equals 1, okay. And then if I take the angle between the second order, it can be your bottom one or it can be your second one, okay. So if I take the angle between uh, this two, your second order and your zeroth order, okay, then what happens, that is called as theta 2. In that case I have to use n equals 2, okay. So this is your different things, okay. So order and also what is your theta, okay. So these things you need to know. Then what we are going to do is we are going to do the experiment. I will show this, okay. So if you take a laser light, then what happens, so I will go to the next one, okay. So wavelength of laser, okay. So in this case what we'll do, so first I will explain you what is grating, okay. So what is a grating? So grating is nothing but, so you would have seen some gratings, okay. So normally, okay, so you can see this kind of spots, okay. So this is nothing but these are your gratings. So this is like your horizontal and vertical lines. And if you take this small spot in between, so this spot would be your slit, okay. So the width of the slit. So now I will explain this. So this is the grating. Grating means it is just horizontal and vertical lines. Maybe in kitchen you would have seen some grating. Okay. So what happens in your kitchen is grating is you have something like this, or let me take this is your grating. Okay. So in this case, this is your kitchen grating. If you see here, there are holes, right? So these holes are at uh, very regular interval of distance. Okay, so if I take the distance between each of the holes, this is almost constant. So that is what we call as a grating. Okay, so uh, these spots would be your slits. Okay, because if you take your Young's double slit experiment, in that case, what happens? You need to have slits, and there is a condition for slits. Okay, so you cannot have any, you cannot take any slits. For diffraction, you have some condition. Okay, so for diffraction, what is the condition between the if I take the width of the slit, okay, width of slits should be almost of the order of wavelength of light. Okay, so only then you can have diffraction. If you take a slit which is very big, like if I use this kitchen grating, and if I try to do the diffraction, so if you take this hole, it will be almost like zero point 0.1 mm, okay, 0.1 millimeter. But if you take the wavelength of your light, it is almost like 650 nanometer. Okay, so 650 nanometers may be like 0.65 micrometer. Okay, so 0.65 micrometer. But what is the whole the width of this kitchen grating? So the width of this kitchen grating is almost like zero point 0.1 or maybe 0.5 millimeter. So that is very big. So you cannot have diffraction in that case. So if I want to have diffraction, then I need to use a slit which is almost of the order of your wavelength of light. Okay. So for that we are going to use this grating. So if you go back to your experiment, then you can see here there is something called as slit width or grating constant. Okay. So it is 1 by n. I will just tell this 1 by n. Okay, and then I will explain. Okay, grating constant is, so if you take the grating constant or your slit width, okay, uh, slit width, then what happens? It is written as 1 by n. 1 means it is 1 inch. Okay, 1 inch. 1 inch is nothing but it is equal to 2.54 centimeter. Okay, so divided by n is nothing but it is the number of lines. Okay, so they have 15,000 lines. So as you saw here, so if I take 1 inch glass, that will have 15,000 horizontal and 15,000 vertical lines. Okay, so that is the meaning of this 15,000. Okay, and this, if you simplify this, you will get around 1.69 micrometer. Micro means 10 raised to minus 6 meter. So now you can see the width of your slits and the uh, wavelength of light, they are almost in the same order. Same order means they are both are in micrometers. Now you can expect the diffraction. Okay, if this is not satisfied, then you cannot have the diffraction. Okay, you need to satisfy this law. So that is why we are going to use what we call as grating. So grating means it is nothing but it is the so now I will just show here. So if you take this grating, so this is almost like 1 inch width, 1 inch height. Okay, so 1 inch by 1 inch. So inside this, you will have like 15,000, 15,000 lines, horizontal and vertical. Okay, so you have lines like that, and also lines in this form. Okay, so then what happens? The spot in between each of the lines is called as a slit, and we get the uh, width of the slit as 1.69 micrometer. You cannot even see in your eyes. Okay, so it is very difficult to see those things in your eyes. Okay, so now what happens? Once you have this kind of once you satisfy this law, or once you satisfy this condition, then you can expect the diffraction. your Young's double slit experiment. Okay. So now what I will do, I will just show you how it looks, and then I will write your the diagram. Okay, so then it will be more, I think, convincing for you. Okay, so for this experiment, what we do is we are going to use uh, so we are going to use this meter bridge. Okay, so you can use this meter bridge. So this will give actually your what we call as, this is like a screen. Okay, so this is your screen in your experiment. Then what we do, we use this grating stand. I'll put this grating inside this, so it is going to stand like that, and then I'm going to place it here. Okay, somewhere in the middle. So then I have one more scale. So this scale is actually used to know the distance of the grating. So this is your grating. This is the grating, the position of the grating. You should know the distance between your screen and the grating. So for that we are going to use this scale. This scale will help us to know what is the actual length between the grating and the screen. Okay. So then you can use your laser light. Okay. So what I will do, I'll use the laser light. So you can see this is the laser light. What I will do, I will make it to fall on your screen. Okay. So when it is so when it is falling on the screen, it is just falling as a single line. Okay, so your single point. So now what I will do, I will bring I'm going to bring your uh, grating in between the path. Okay, so if I put the grating somewhere in the middle, so I'm going to put grating here. So now what happened? You can see your single stack has got into like five different spots. So you may see here there are five spots. Okay, so you are not able to see the last one, but it is very faint. Okay, so the sorry, one line has split into five different spots. Okay, so this is the use of your grating. If I remove the grating, then it will be this one spot. Okay, so now as you saw already what exactly happens when you bring diffraction grating in the path of your laser light. So now what I will do is I'm going to just write this on your board. Okay, and then I will explain you what happens. Okay, so okay, so now this is your what do you call it? So initially I have a light, laser light, which is going like this, and let us assume this is the screen. So it is falling at some point. Okay, so why you need this meter bridges to know the exact distance between each of those spots. Okay, so this is your beam, and once I keep the grating, then what happens? You have splitting. Okay, so you have the first order. So this is going to be slightly bright. So this is very bright. Okay, but what happens to the first order? First order it is going to be slightly less, and second order will be much less. Okay, the same thing happens on the other side of it. Okay, so this is very bright. If I'm writing the big circle, that means this is more bright. If I'm decreasing the uh, width of the circle, that means this is slightly lesser bright. Okay, and the second order will be much less bright. Okay, so now this is your theta 2 and the other one is theta 1. Okay, so now what I need to know is I need to know this theta because that is the angle. If I know this theta, then what I can do, I can get the your wavelength of light. Okay, so D is nothing but this is your slit width. Okay? So D is the slit width. So we already got this. So it is nothing but 1 inch by N, which is 2.54 by 15,000, which is almost like 1.69 micrometer. Okay. So I know the D, and then N I know because N is refers to the total. So if I am talking about this one, it is N equals 1, and this is N equals 2. Okay, so uh, I know the N. Only thing I need to get the theta. That is why you are going to do this experiment. Okay, so to get the theta, this is like two rays of light. I cannot know the exact theta by just tracing the path of light. So for that, I am going to use the trigonometry. So if this is the distance from grating and your screen. Okay, so the distance between grating and screen, I will call it as D, capital D. Okay, so D is the distance. Then, if I want to know theta 2, for example, then I should know the distance from your 0 to first order. So I will call this distance as x1, sorry, x2. X2 is the distance between 0th order and the second order, and x1 is the distance between your 0th order and the first order. So in that case, what happens is I can use tan theta. So tan theta 1 will be your x1 by d, and in the same way tan theta 2 is x2 by d. Okay. So or if I want to take it as theta 2 will be tan inverse of x2 by d. Okay. And theta 1, I will just write for theta 1. Theta 1 is tan inverse of x1 by d. Okay. So if so I can find the theta 1. So I know the grating slit width, and I also know the n, and then I can calculate the my wavelength of light. Okay, so now I can get the wavelength of light. So now for this, what we will do is we are going to use this experiment, and we are going to find this. Okay, so what we'll do, we'll take different distance from grating and your screen. Okay, so this is your screen and grating. So you keep different screen and grating, and then you find x1 and x2. Okay, but normally how you do it is for x1 you're going to take distance between this end to this end. So this will be almost like 2 times x1, and then you divide it by 2, so that will give the x1. Okay, so the main reason is, in principle, the x1 on the right should be equal to the x1 on the left. But sometimes if you are not keeping this at exactly 90 degree, okay, then what happens? So one of them will be bigger, other one will be smaller. Okay, I'm not talking about x2, only I'm talking about the x1. Okay, so for that, what we do is we'll take the distance between the first order from the left, first order from the right, and then we will take that is something that will be the 2 times x2, and we will do that by x1. Sorry, divided by 2, then we will do x1. Okay, so this is your how you are going to perform the experiment. Okay, so then you are going to make this tableau column. You can see here you are getting x1. Then you get theta 1 as I explained. This mathematics, it is tan inverse of x1 by d. D is the distance between grading and screen. So it will be in centimeter. So then what happens? You get the lambda 1. Lambda 1 is actually d sin theta 1 by 1. They are not written by 1 because divided by 1 is d sin theta 1. So they are going to write it directly. Okay. In the second case, what happens? x2, you take theta 2 as tan inverse of x2 by d. Then x2 is nothing but d sin theta by n. N is equal to 2 because you are taking the second order. Okay. Then you are going to take the average of lambda 1 and lambda 2. That would give the wavelength of the light. Okay. So why you are going to do this is just to minimize the error. So what you do, you take for different lengths, maybe like 5 centimeter, 10 centimeter, and 15 centimeter. Okay. So what I will do is I will try to write this dx1 and x2, and I will send you the data to me. Okay, so then what you are supposed to do, you have to calculate the values for your lambda 2 and x1. Okay, sorry, lambda 1 and lambda 2, and then so I'll write d, then I will write x1, and then I will write x2. So I will send you these values. So what I will show you for maybe like 5 centimeter. Okay. 20, 15 something. Okay, just a minute. Okay, so what I will do, I will show the first value, how to take the first value, one value, and then later on you can, when you come back, you can do the other experiment. Okay, so it is very simple again, not very complicated. So I will show for 5, for distance between the screen and breaking as 5, how to take x1 and how to take x2. In principle, you are going to take 2 times x1 and then 2 times x2, and then you are going to do the convert it into x1 and x2. Okay, so let me show that. So let me get fixed it at 5 centimeter. Okay, so I will do for 10 centimeter because it is difficult to show for 5 centimeter. Okay, so let me show this. So I kept this at 10 centimeter. You can see the grating, which is like middle of your stand, grating stand, is at 10 centimeter. Okay, so you can see this is at 10 centimeter. So that is how you know the distance between your screen and grating is 10 centimeter. Okay, now what you do, you switch on your laser. So once you switch on the laser, you see spots. So actually you are able to see only the first spot. The second spot is somewhere here. Okay, so it's very, very faint. So you may not be even able to see it. Okay, so you can see the first spot and second spot, and then there is same thing on the other side. Okay, so now I will take we will take the reading for x2. Okay, so for x2 what you will do is you will take the readings from the scale. Okay, so for that you have to take the value, so you can see this is almost somewhere in between 50 1. Okay, so I will explain that again, so later. The other one is at slightly to the left. Okay, so 50.8 is in the left, and if you take the right one is, so right the spot, so you are not taking the mid spot but you are taking the right spot. Okay, so this is something somewhere around 45. Okay, so this scale is not that good. Okay, but just I will write the values. Okay, so what you're supposed to do is you take the value here on the scale. This is something like 50.8, and you take the value here. This is almost like uh, just give me a minute. Okay, I'll take separate different scale, then it will be better. Okay. Okay, so can you hear me now? Okay, I think this is more clear. Okay, so we can see this. So in this, as we can see here, so what I will do, I'll just shine the light, your laser light, and then what happens? Once I shine the light, you can see it is getting split into different order spots. Okay, so you can see here. So this you have to find the spot. Where is this spot? So this spot is around so 49.4 or 49.5, and then if you take the other spot which is in the other end. Okay, so just a minute. Okay, I think. Okay, so here you can see both the spots. So now I will tell the values. Okay, so I will write the values and then this height is wide. Okay, so I will write these values. Okay, what is the value here? Around 41.2, and then what's the value here? Okay, the second first spot. Okay, and then in the same way I will try to find the value for this small spot which is the second order, and this small spot you may not even see that, but it's very small. Okay, so I will write the value there, and then we'll do the calculation. Okay, so this is how you are going to actually take the readings. Okay, so for x2, okay, so I will just write it. So for x1, okay, so for x1, one spot is at 49.3, the other spot is at 41.8. Okay, so this is at 49.3 and 41.8. Okay, the second one is at, so one is at 54.5, and the other one, so it's very faint, 41.5. Okay, so this will be like your different values. So I'm going to send you these values. What you're supposed to do, you have to find the uh, theta 1, theta 2, and then you try to find the values for your lambda. Okay, so you use this, you can use the tabular column, and then you can do it. Okay, I will send you the x1, x2 for different values, and you have to find lambda 1, lambda 2 corresponding. Okay, so I will do for maybe like 10 and 50, and I will send you the values later. Okay, so now we have got these values. So what I will do is I will just find the what is the difference here. Okay, so I got to 2 times x1. So what will be your x1? Okay, so you have to do 49.3 minus 41.8. So you get some value, and then you have to divide it by 2. Okay, so if I take this, this is 7.5. Okay, so now if I divide it by 2, then it will be 3.85. Okay, so 2.75. Okay, so this is your x1, and then in the same way, if I take the difference between these two, then it will be 54.5 minus your 41.5. So it will be 30. Okay, so this is going to be 30, and then 13 by 2, it will be 6.5. Okay, so you got x1 and x2 for this was for 10 centimeter. Okay, so for 10 centimeter, you do the same for 5, maybe 20 centimeter and 30 centimeter. Okay, so then you find the values for x1 and x2. That will be uh, initial part, and then you substitute that in your tabular column for different value for t, what is x1 and what is x2, and finally you find the lambda. Okay, so I will send you this x1 x2 for at least two different v, then you have to find the value for lambda. Okay. So I will later I will send you the what you call as the link for your attendance. So there you have to fill these values. Okay. So we have done three experiments. I think I will stop at this point because it's not taking too much. Okay. So we have done the first experiment is the Planck's. So for Planck's experiment, I will send you the values for striking voltage. Okay, so these values I will send you, and then I will send you the energy gap values for your resistance and temperature, and also I will send the values for your x1, x2 at different capital. Okay, so you have to calculate these, and then you have to put it in that attendance sheet. Okay, so I think if you have any doubt, you can ask me. If not, we will stop at this point. Okay, I think it's already too much for this today. So next week I will try to cover some three more experiments. Then when you come back, we will have some experiments to perform. Okay. So do you have any doubt up to this?